When you want to differentiate yourself, you need to have a very deep and clear understanding of what you stand for. Coaching is the way to get there. Look at your values, look at your commitments and the promises that you make. As much as your strengths are differentiators, so are your weaknesses. They can be incredibly valuable to help you gain clarity and to help you create a valuable offer that you can excel at. Hi, and welcome back. A lot of people feel like differentiation is either a branding or a marketing exercise. I get asked that a lot. Today, I want to address that a little bit. My name is Michèle Soregaroli. For those of you who don't know me, I have been specializing in differentiating professional services providers and working with them on value propositions and competitive advantage and creating an offer that really sticks and is compelling to your target market. So let's talk a little bit about differentiation in terms of branding, marketing, and what I see it as a coaching exercise from the very beginning, particularly in professional services. The reason I say that, when you want to differentiate yourself as a professional services provider, it is a dramatically different exercise from differentiating a product or differentiating even a large-scale company like a public company in services. When you're looking at a smaller organization or a smaller firm, let's say you're running a smaller firm of anywhere from, 5 to 15, 20 professional services advisors, you're selling advice. You're selling relationships. You're selling the ability to create value based on the rapport that you have with each other, based on your core fundamental philosophies or beliefs that are motivating and informing the way you give advice and even the advice that you give. So what happens with differentiation, particularly in this arena, is that you need to have a very deep and clear understanding of what you stand for, the things that you believe, the things that are driving your advice, the things that are motivating you, the things that are informing how you've designed your offer and why you've designed it that way. So what happens is most of us are natural human differentiators. Most of us take those for granted. We think that if it's easy, it's not special. We think that if we're good at it, everybody's good at it. And we think that the things that make our offer different are not necessarily compelling. And that's not true. Fundamentally, that's not true. This is why differentiation in professional services starts as a coaching exercise, because as much as you know yourself, you don't necessarily see yourself through the eyes and through the lens that the market is seeing you and experiencing your work. So what I want to offer you is, in order to differentiate your services, you've got to understand some of the underlying components that inform the way you show up, how you show up, and the expertise that you've developed. Once you have that understanding, then and only then are you equipped to brand and create that reputation and have clear and consistent messaging and positioning and brand reputation, if you will, that really elevates you and helps you stand apart from the peers that you are currently competing with. So once you understand that, you can then brand effectively. And of course, once you can brand effectively, then you can market effectively. But too often, professional services providers and firms rely very, very heavily on branding and marketing experts that do a great job of this work. That, in my opinion, they don't go deep enough on the fundamental components of you as the leader and advice provider and creating who you are, creating the components and the elements of your firm and what it is that is driving the way that you've designed things. They don't go deep enough. And that's not something that they can go deep enough. This is something that requires a great deal of introspection, self-awareness, and sometimes kind of facing the truths around what it is in your offer that you think is valuable versus what it is in your offer that is actually truly valuable because of the way you do it and the way you think. Coaching is the way to get there. And this is why I approach differentiation from the perspective of coaching first, and then we talk about the positioning and the way that is packaged so that it can then go into more of a branding and marketing exercise. So if you're struggling with your branding and your marketing and trying to figure out why this isn't working and why you're not differentiated well enough, it's likely because you don't have enough clarity around your services and around the way you provide advice first. So if that's the case, I would invite you to go deep, explore what it is underneath, look at your values, look at your commitments and the promises that you make. What is it about them that is important to you? What do you believe? about the advice that you provide? What do you believe about the industry? What do you believe about how to create value through your expertise and in your industry, in your field? What are those fundamental underlying things? What are your strengths? And as much so, what are your weaknesses? What are the things that limit your ability to compete with those peers, perhaps? Those are also really important, because as much as your strengths are differentiators and really strong in your value proposition, believe it or not, so are your weaknesses, or so are those limitations that you have. Those are also differentiators. They can be incredibly valuable to help you gain clarity and to help you create a valuable offer that you can excel at. So I'm going to leave you with that. If this video has been interesting to you, as always, I invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please share it with others that you think might benefit from the same kind of perspective around their services offer and why they do what they do. Once again, my name is Michèle Soregaroli, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.